Well, to tell us a bit more, our foreign affairs commentator Douglas Herbert joins me now. Doug, just tell us first of all a bit more about who these protesters are and the risks that they're taking to go out into the streets.
Yeah, who are they? They're ordinary Russians across Russia, 12 time zones, from Kaliningrad on the Baltic Sea to Irkutsk in Siberia to Khabarovsk on the Pacific Rim, Far East, who are absolutely, the scales are falling from their eyes. They're outraged enough to brave the risks of imprisonment, of being dragged off and hauled away and arrested by police. Basically, the prohibition against any form of dissent or opposition in Russia, the crackdown there, willing to brave all of that. I want you to look at this woman here in this image. Now, maybe we could actually take the little strap down so you could see the full sign. It said, "Обними меня, если тебе страшно тоже," which means hug me if you are also scared. And she is basically crystallizing a sentiment felt by many. She was being arrested she happened to be in the city of Tomsk in Russia, provincial city, being taken away by police, who they were gentler with her than a lot of police were with the protesters. Many police in heavy body armor, literally dragging away protesters, many of them chanting no to war. What's incredible about this, Nadia, is people say, 1,300. You know, the Russian ambassador, a spokesperson for the Russian ambassador to France was on French TV this morning, and he was asked about this, asked to watch these images that you're all seeing right now on our screen of these protests across 38 cities in Russia at least and counting, saying, what do you make of this? People seem to be opposed to the war. He says, it's just a handful of people. All they showed up for is to have a party. I think that our viewers looking at these images might beg to differ. These people are not just there to have a party. These people are actually, as you said, they are alarmed, they're afraid, they're outraged at what they realize now is not a special military operation. It never was that. It is a war. And the fact that you have that many people, 1,300 and counting, in a country that is essentially, in terms of protest, become a police state. You cannot express opposition. The fact they're willing to brave their livelihoods, their jobs, their employers, the prospects of education, all of that is absolutely staggering. So I can't put an emphasis enough on these pictures. Now, I want to show you something else. People are fleeing Russia, young men especially, looking for the exit. Where is that escape hatch? I want to just bring up a quick chart here. Fleeing Putin's war, that was my little title there. One-way ticket to Armenia, Turkey, Azerbaijan. What do I mean by that? It means that if you tried to book flights to Yerevan, to Istanbul, to Baku, even to Kazakhstan yesterday, which had been the portals of choice to get out of Russia because Aeroflot doesn't fly to Europe anymore, these are where you wanted to go. Prices have skyrocketed beyond most people's financial means, but you can't get tickets. They were sold out yesterday. Go back to university. Well, technically, if you're a student and you're enrolled, you won't be conscripted. Then again, the Russians know the rules can change any time. They don't trust the number of a partial mobilization. They see this as a potentially full draft coming. Putin can change the rules when and if he likes. How to break my arm. That was a big internet search yesterday in Russia. Why? Because if you break your arm, presumably you will not be able to call up to go to war. And finally, live in Moscow, not the provinces. What I mean by that is you have a greater chance, perhaps, of avoiding a draft, even a partial draft, if you're in the big capital under the media scrutiny. Putin doesn't want images of the police dragging off hipsters in the Moscow metro. So you have a better chance if you're out of that limelight, out of the media scrutiny, somewhere in a smaller town.
Extraordinary scenes then coming out of Russia, Doug. Now, at the same time, amid all of this really rather serious development, we are looking at one slice of good news, and that's a prisoner exchange between Russians and Ukrainians. It's the largest since the start of the war. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, it is that. It's a flash, perhaps a flash in the pan, but some positive news amidst all of this mayhem. You've had 215 Ukrainian and foreign prisoners released by Russia in a swap that was apparently brokered by Turkey. Now, what's significant is among them were a large contingent of the fighters who led the defense of the Azovstal steelworks. You'll remember in Mariupol, for weeks leading up to their surrender at the government's request to save their lives in May, and they were taken to Russian territory. Well, 5 of them were commanders of the Azovstal unit, and they actually were seen in a video basically thanking Zelensky for helping the president, for helping getting them out. Zelensky saying, you shouldn't be thanking me. I should be thanking you. Stop thanking me. You have nothing to. But the real interesting thing about this swap is, yes, 215 Ukrainian foreign prisoners, 55 Ukraine gave back 55 Russian prisoners, and among them, one person we can focus on, Viktor Medvedchuk. He is said to be Ukraine's 12th richest man, an oligarch. He was a former Ukrainian, but Ukrainian in name only, lawmaker, who was arrested in the early days of the war, charged with high treason by Ukraine for escaping house arrest, a close ally of Putin. And why is he so important? Why was Russia able to, basically take back only 55 in exchange for 215? It's thought that he's very close to Putin at a time where Putin needs allies. He's losing oligarchs by the day. He doesn't have too many close people to him right now. Medvedchuk is seen as a crown jewel for the Russians. You can bet that their propaganda and the spin machine in Russia and state media is going to play this up for all it's worth.
Really interesting. Thanks for your analysis. Douglas Herbert for us there.